Hello folks, another daily pattern, can't speak today. Another daily tangle pattern today is 4 bowl. Another one by Carlos Cano. We had one just recently. The one that I couldn't pronounce, that he so very graciously told me what the translation of the word meant. So I really appreciate the feedback. Looks like a very nice, like flowery kind of a tangle. I'm just going to draw one big one in the middle. I think that seems to be how this one just wants to be. Step number 1 is just a simple small circle in the middle with 4 little arms coming out this way. Around those arms you'll make a little petal that's just kind of a curvy, if you're, depending on how you're holding it, if you're holding it, well, I didn't have to turn that, they're all the same. It's sort of like a number 3, like that, all the way around. And then step 4 is to do that again, put some arms, and then that same sort of shape. See how that is? Arms in the same sort of shape. Oh, and you need these little bits here. And then you do it one more time. Arms in the same sort of shape. I imagine you could just keep growing that until it's as big as you want. This one, see how there's got this big space left over? When it's all the way out to the end, he did these bits, those to fill in that space. So he's got it looking like this. Oh, he filled in that space there too with these, and I really like the look of that. With, looks like a ribbon, all kind of curled around and made into like a button or a bow. I really like this. So I'm going to emulate that and see what I end up with. I'm going to just start right in the middle of my tile, right here, put that little dot, and then I want 4 arms. And then I want to make this kind of shape. I'm going to turn my tile so that I'm making it all kind of the same direction. Okay, and then within that you also have these okay, and then here put 2 more arms and a petal-y shape. 2 more arms. 2 more arms. And like that, with some something like that. And then suppose if you started smaller, you'd end up with a smaller one of these, but I'm just enjoying myself here and doing it nice and big, happy. I want something like that. Don't think it needs to be any bigger, but I think I am going to emulate his sample and make this. I like this idea here along the edge. Like so. You really notice the edges of these petals when you do this. Gives them a weight and emphasis. I'm going to do that here as well. And this is a great pattern. I'm not sure it's officially a Zentangle pattern because it looks awfully flower-like, but it's a great pattern. Patterncollections.com has so many patterns, and not all of them would I consider Zentangle patterns, just because of the representational nature of them. But they're all really cool. If you don't have to think about, I think a good rule of thumb on a Zentangle pattern, even if it kind of ends up representational, is that if you do it once and you don't have to ever go back and look at the steps again, then that makes it a good Zentangle type pattern, because the step outs are easy enough to remember without looking at the pattern. Okay. I think, you know, it has these things. Yeah, okay. So I need to go like this. Yeah, just kind of up and down along long, skinny, the curve at one end. They're not perfect, that's okay. It's just kind of a filler in that space. Some of mine are a little more pointy than others. It's all right. As long as they're just long and skinny. Like that. Well, that's really pretty. I do like the look of that. Not sure I care for, I think I'm going to do that here too, because I'm not sure I care for the little, whatever that is there in the middle. I'm going to do like that. I like the way it was represented on the sample. One of the few times I've actually done it exactly the way the sample shows. Yeah, that's for me a little bit better. I can go ahead and I can put these bits back in, make them a little longer, because they kind of represent where there's a fold, like in the, like if that's a fabric ribbon. Okay. Now some shading. I want to shade here. On the folds. Whew. It's getting really hot. I may have to go turn on the air conditioner. Might have to do a little bit in here. And some right there, right at the edge of where that folds down. Let's see, where else? I'm to be honest with you, I'm looking at the sample and just kind of emulating this where the folds are. I have more ripples in my petals than the sample does, but I'm going to still kind of emulate that idea that there's a fold. I'm going to say it's between, like somewhere in here. Something like that. think it needs, that's overlapping there, so I think it's going to need it right there. Oh my word. You know what? I think it's not so much that it's hot, although it is hot. I don't know what the temperature is, but it is definitely hot. It has gotten really, really humid. Ugh. All right. So something like that, and maybe a little bit right here. Okay, let's blend that out and see what we end up with. Oh. I turned around my blending stump. You probably just noticed that. I just turned it around. I have one end that's kind of clean and one end that's got a lot of graphite on it from before. And the one with the more graphite on it is just spreading it around better. That's the reason I switched it over. I'll use the clean one if I want to like soften what I've already blended. But I'll go ahead and use the dirty end to, oh, I didn't go right there. I need to do right here where that's overlapping that. I'll use the dirty end because it's got already some graphite on there and it seems to blend better actually with a dirty stump, which might seem counterintuitive, but it's what works. I just go with what works. It's trial and error and experimentation is what it is. I keep turning it around to try to keep my fist out of. I do rest my hand on my table. Most people do when they're drawing, and I'm just trying to keep my end of my hand out of the paper pencil so that I'm not smudging it too much. That's all I'm doing. Something like that. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Oh, isn't that pretty? Wow, that is so pretty. Okay, this is a winner, absolute winner of a pattern. What is it called? For bowl. There we go. That's just lovely. Wow, really, really pretty. I like it. Thank you so much, Carlos, for this pattern.